Welcome back to the Moto Gumption YouTube channel, guys, with me, Ish Barrientos. Now today, we're gonna go ahead and get some more progress done on the FZ1, the Raffle FZ1 that is. I wish I was working on him over there, but we're not today. That's for a future episode and very soon, actually. Let's go ahead and get on to it, guys. Well, since I didn't have a list, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, but looking at the bike, there's plenty to do, so I went ahead and made a list. Okay, well, I did have blah wiring on my list, but upon looking at blah wiring, I noticed how blah it really was. So it looks like this was for probably a heated vest or a battery tender. Anyway, so there's multiple stuff already hooked up here. As far as this long loom, this long piece of wire goes to a connection up to the front. And then right here in this little cluster right here, it has some other wiring. And then you have a green wire coming from that loom connecting to this. And then it goes into the loom that is connected to the ignition module. So until I figure out where all this stuff goes, I'm not gonna mess with it right now. That's some boring footage and that's not what we're here to look for. So I'm gonna go ahead and bypass all that. What we're gonna do is go ahead and put the side cover back on right here and address the wheel. We're gonna go get it back to its proper orientation and get the chain slack to what it needs. So we're gonna give it about an inch, inch and a quarter to inch and a half, more on the inch and a half side for right now, but will be adjusted later anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the clutch and address the clamping force. All right, so if this is your first time ever watching or you're attempting to do tightening your chain, it's not very hard. Very few tools are needed. You just have to be very careful to make sure that the wheel's straight and true. So these are the tools I use. You don't have to use these exact measuring tools. You can use something else, but this is the best way for me. And I have the tools on hand, so I'm gonna use them. There we go, and that's done. Whoa, pause real quick, guys. All right, so I wanted to take a quick moment to stop wrenching on the bike and address this. While filming today and wrenching on the bike, we hit 300 subscribers, the big 300. I want to say thank you guys for all the support and continuing to enjoy the content. And a big shout out to the 300th subscriber, Jimmy Massey. I hope I said your last name right. Jimmy Massey was a 300 subscriber, so thank you. I will try to work on getting something designed, maybe a shirt, maybe a hat, something special for you and personal. Thank you again, Jimmy, and let's get back to the wrenching. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move right along on what the next big topic is, and that is going to be the clutch cover. Now, not only are we gonna be addressing the clutch cover and replacing it with one that's not all scraped up, we're going to be installing a new gasket for it, as well as some heavier clutch springs. Now, I'm not going to do all 6 clutch springs, but I'm going to do 3. And there's a certain pattern that you have to do to make sure that the pressure is applied evenly. So let's go ahead and take this off. Now, this is already undone right here because we needed to get to our cam chain tensioner. We also needed to, we're going to have to take this off right here. There is a key to getting this back on correctly. Okay, guys? Go ahead and remove these, all right? I want to take a quick gander at the clutch itself, the clutch plates and everything else. All right, so now that we have those out, let's go ahead and play with this clutch a little bit. Do is take these off very carefully. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back where it belongs, and we're gonna have them stacked up on top of this one. So now we're gonna take out a fiber. Oh, no, I'm not gonna have everything to get these out. Good old Harbor Freight coming in clutch with the mini picks. Hopefully, come on, there we go. Hopefully these can get in there and take these out. There we go. Another one, and actually these look really good. As you can tell here, there's no glazing of these pads right here. So these are your actual friction areas where they're grabbing each other. Most of the time if they're burnt, there's gonna be a glaze and it'll look basically like melted plastic or so. But there's no glazing on these, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue, take out a few more stills and some clutch plates, and then we'll go from there. We'll measure them. Make sure there's no warping inside of the actual stills themselves. The very last set of stills and frictions has this little retaining clip. You can kind of see it right in here. Anyways, there's a little retaining clip that I'm not going to be taking off because I'm pretty sure I don't have the tool, but you can kind of see how this pick is kind of pushing it up some. So I'm going to leave these last two, check all the rest, and if all the rest are good, I'm pretty sure this back one is that back set's pretty good. Now look at this. With all that pressure gone, it doesn't take much to turn this and already engage the wheel by hand. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check these out, guys, and get on with it. Be careful. Be very careful. All right, here we go. All right, so I got a cameraman for a short few minutes. Anyway, so what I'm gonna be doing here is checking the fibers to make sure that there is no glazing on them. So I mean, I shouldn't really be using this type of paper towel, but there shouldn't be any fibers left over. Anyway, so just checking these contact pads on both sides, make sure there's no glazing. Basically, this right here is oil. So if it was glazing, it'd look really bad, kind of like the oil smeared, but cleaning it off, there is no glazing on these contact pads, so they look good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep in the order that I took them. And then here is the steels in between your friction plates. All right, so I have a small little granite plate here, which is perfect size actually, just to check for warpage. So if you come down level right here, you'll be able to see that there are no gaps, no air gaps or anything. This thing slides smooth. Check both sides, everything looked good. I'm gonna go ahead and do this on all of them and then throw this sucker back into the bike because I'm pretty sure this thing wasn't rode hard at all. So again, just checking for glazing and moving along. So luckily I still have my camera guy. I'm gonna go ahead and slightly just remove some of the old gasket that's left in place with a brass tool, so that way I don't scratch up the surface of the mating area. Through and remove any of the old gasket like this right here, which is really working nicely, and it gets in that small areas pretty good. Gonna go ahead and and it goes this way. And that goes in with the other dowel pin, which I'll go ahead and take from the other clutch cover. Oh boy, pain in my butt. Here we are. So now you have your gasket lined up, and we're gonna go ahead and put the clutches back in and then get the other clutch cover. So before we go ahead and put the bolts in, tie everything down, we need to change out to our new heavy duty springs. So what I have here is actually 3 old stock springs that I used on my FZ1, which are these guys right here, the longer ones. They have less tension. And these are the actually heavy duty springs right here. So these are washers that I used. I had 6, 3 are missing of course because 3 are inside of my supercharged FZ1. So these 3 washers will go underneath the stock springs on the Raffle bike, and these 3 heavy duty springs will not get a washer because they are, well, they have enough tension themselves. So we're gonna take these and mod it up. The main thing here is we wanna keep everything into a pattern. So if I'm gonna put the heavy duty springs in, I need a heavy duty, heavy duty, heavy duty. So you wanna keep the actual pressure plate or the pressure equal. So we're gonna have stock springs here and heavy duty springs here. Headed back to the parts rack because I need to get the ECU. This needs to get shipped out today to go get flashed. It's not just getting flashed, it's getting flashed than none other by David at Vcyclenut. Now, David has graciously said yes to sponsor the flash of the ECU. I didn't even have to twist his arm that hard. The guy said yes, and you know, the kindness of his heart, he's ready for the cause, all right? Now, I recommend checking out his website at Vcyclenut.com. He has a plethora of tunes ready for you guys. His reputation, you know, is well known in the bike community. He doesn't just focus on horsepower, but reliability, making sure AFRs are consistent through the rev range and in safe zones. Supports a big majority of the FC line, including the FZ07, 8, 9, and 10, the Kawasaki ZX10, the new H2 SX, and the R6 and R1. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but you know what, David? Thank you very much. We will come back to this once we get the ECU. I will leave a link in the description to his website if you guys want to check it out. He has some good stuff, and he's well known in the FZ1 community, period. All right, so we're not going to go ahead and worry about adjusting the clutch lever at all, because on the next one, what we're going to be doing is taking off the handlebar, as well as putting on the new levers, the new grips, and adjusting all this other stuff back onto the new handlebar. Hopefully, I do get in these intake gaskets over here and getting injectors. As well as the injectors, I'm going to go ahead and go to the store, buy a 3-bar map sensor, GM map sensor. That way we can start wiring that into the power commander so we can have a boost reference. And big stuff that happened was we hit 300 subscribers on the YouTube channel, guys. So shout out to you. As far as tonight, that's all I got, guys. Catch you on the next one.